Good afternoon, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So before I take this beautiful Saito engine out for a run, I just want to chat about it real quick. This is a Saito FA-45. I don't think it's a Mark anything because it's the original 45 that has the two-piece head. And as you can see, the screw bosses go all the way down here. Now there are some things about this engine that make it different than the other Saito 45s like the Mark 1 and on. And obviously going to a single piece head is one of them. The other thing that's different is, you see how this intake manifold kind of sticks out from the side? On other Saito engines you won't see that. So you've got some screws here, and this comes apart in a completely different manner. Now the carb is pretty much the same as the later versions for a short time anyway. Let's see here, what else? Now, and the rocker covers have this little flared area, so they're not universal. They can't go on other engines, and they can't be swapped between the two because each side has this little flared end. In fact, my Saito FA-80 twin is this exact same thing, except it was made from Saito FA-40 engines or cylinders, but it has those same flared things. So I got this off of RC Groups from a really awesome man named Steve, and it was at a price that I really couldn't turn down for this engine because it looked like it was in incredible shape. And those Saito aficionados out there will notice that no, this is not a Saito header at all. This is actually a header from an OS engine. So I had some concerns about purchasing this engine because of that, because I know that OS threads are not compatible with Saito threads, at least from what I've seen in the the thread charts on these engines. But somehow this does manage to thread in there and it gets tight, and I've already taken it out and looked at it. That's the only thing I've done to this engine aside from setting up the carb using my normal carb setup procedure. And this engine, obviously, or this style carb, doesn't have a throttle stop screw, so that's going to make setting the idle or showing the idle going to be somewhat interesting. But anyway, let's take this baby out for a run. I've got an 11/6 APC prop on here and a K&B 4-stroke plug. So let's take this baby out for a run. that is why Saito is one of my favorite engine brands. Just perfection. Now this is a pretty old one, and it's one of two like this that I've got, and I realized that I was running it pretty hard there. But I kind of wanted to make a point about the type of RPM this thing will turn when properly tuned. And it seems to be fairly properly tuned to me, because it'll sit there and hold an idle for an extended period of time with very good transition afterwards, and it still had good peak performance or top RPM. Now, one of the things that was said about this engine in the review on the Scepter Flight site, and I believe it was Peter Chin that wrote it, was that as this heated up, it would lose 200 to 300 RPM. It's a hot day out here already today. It's 90 degrees ambient air temperature, and I really didn't see this thing losing any RPM at all. It's pretty warm, needless to say, but it didn't really seem to lose any top RPM with this prop and this fuel. So very impressive run, very impressive little Saito engine, and I'm glad I got it. So hope you all enjoyed watching. Thank you.